Hey guys, welcome to episode number 50. This is a peer-to-peer network coding session series. And today we are going to be working on the WebSockets interface. Okay. The idea is that we're going to extract everything from there that is not related to WebSocket so that we can create a similar interface for Web RTC. Okay. So that's our goal as of today. Um, so let's jump into the code. Okay, so I'm going to so yeah, what we're going to do today is to get into the WebSockets interface. That is what we have here, and put everything that is not actually related to WebSockets into a different module. So that we can have the minimum stuff here at WebSocket interface and be able to have a very similar module for WebRTC that reuses most of this code. So it's not a difficult stuff. We will need to come here and to create that module. The first problem we are going to have is how to name it. Okay, how do we name this? And let me think about it. How would we name this? Would be the probably the communication layer, or real time, because there's a communication layer también with the HTTP interface that is not going to have exactly this stuff. Yeah, probably I can call it communication layer. Just like that. Okay, so let's put some code in here. Here we're going to call this communication layer. We will also need we will need the app schema. No, not this. The project schema. So this is not complicated, it's rather a mechanical stuff that we will be doing. We add this here so that it gets instantiated at runtime. Okay, so now we got the module. The communication layer, of course, is not going to have any of this stuff. And probably not even this, because most likely it's going to be a function library. Maybe I can define it also as a function library. I don't have any here, but okay, so let me check this out. We have function libraries. Yeah, it's most likely going to be a function library. The difference between a function library and module is that they are already instantiated for us. And they don't have this initialize and finalize because they don't keep any state. Okay. But I'm not sure this is not going to keep any state at this moment in time. Okay, so for now we're going to pretend that this is okay here. So how do we strip this from? So what makes this WebSocket dependent? Let's check it out. Communication library is a terrible name now that I think about it. Probably will rename this because these are both sockets. Just going to call it sockets. Okay. I like this more. Okay, let's go back here. One possibility is to have this function outside here. I want to make sure that I'm starting fresh. Then we have this handshake procedure. Handshake step 1, handshake step 2. There's a lot of code there. Add caller, add to array. Okay, so handshake procedure is a big deal. Then we have add caller, remove caller, broadcast to peers, and all of this is part of setup WebSocket server. Okay, all these are inside here because I don't know why. Okay, so before starting, I'm going to make a test if this is working, which it should. Yes. And also I'm going to make a test from a desktop app. I will need a desktop app, not a platform. Desktop code. Okay. So we're going to run this guy. And if everything is working, then we are going to be able to test when we are changing stuff if something is not working. Okay, so this shouldn't be here actually. is perfectly working. Okay, now that we know this is working, okay, we don't care about this problem. We'll go back to our network. So let's say that we have this WebSocket interface. Let me try to understand what is going on. What we are saying is that when a connection is open, we are calling this function. Okay. Then we are defining that on a message, we are calling this function, which is going to do all this stuff. So this is probably inside on connection open because it's reusing some stuff from there. But if I want to take it out, it will probably fail, but at least it's going to tell us what was inside. So I'm going to run this. Okay. Okay, so it failed. Yeah. Caller is not defined. So we need to call this. The problem is we're going to put here another function. Message. So the same thing here. Because this callback is not sending me the caller. The caller, I know it because I'm inside this closure. So what I'm going to do is to do this, and then I'm going to call on message to, I'm going to send the caller from here into this guy. And then this function, I'm going to take it away. Okay, that's my plan. Okay, so far so good. Let's run this again. This failed. Okay, caller timestamp. We need this guy and this guy. Perfect. So now we have this function extracted. Now we can have it elsewhere. Okay, on connection closed, socket ID caller. What I'm going to do, um, because I'm going to take this guy somewhere else and I want to change the behavior, I'm going to put this function here and I'm going to call this guy passing the socket ID so that this can do the job. Okay, okay, there's no easy way to test this, but we can do it like this. Socket ID, perfect. Then we send this here. We got the caller and we remove it. Okay, that means that with these two functions, I can move it somewhere else. Then the handshake procedure is probably called from here with all the parameters. And I'm not sure why all these are inside here and the others not. But we will find out once we move all these somewhere else. So we're going to move these two functions, this group of functions, and we're going to put them here. That are these commonplace sockets. We're going to have these two public functions that of course we're not going to give this horrible name, but we're going to rename it later. Okay, and I'm also going to move these two functions from here to the end of this list. I believe that also this guy this needs to go inside here, and we will move this variable from here to here. Okay, I'm checking which of these stuff are needed. Probably all of them. Network peers, course colors map. So it seems that beyond the socket server, all these are now properties of this guy. And the same, all this stuff should now go in here. So this gets simplified and the other gets simplified too. Okay. So this is how this is going to work. Like very, very simple stuff. Okay, so well, this looks good to me. This looks very, very clear to me. So what we're going to do is to instantiate the guy that we have just invented. Okay, so where are we? We are saying that we are going to instantiate this guy and initialize it. Okay, then we're going to do this, the same thing that we were doing. And then we have these object sockets to call this guy message. And these two, that means that we can remove from here the number 2, the number 2. Okay, so what we did was to remove all the logic from inside here, and we push it into here. So here, okay. In fact, a better name would be sockets interfaces. Socket interfaces. Third time that I correct this, but it's worth having a good name. In the end, it's much better. This was the right name. So here, sockets. Okay, so this has a chance to work now. At least if this feature, there's some missing stuff that is, look who is calling this guy and update it. We can do it now. Now we have to add this intermediary here, but also I can see here okay, so chances are this is going to work. Not 100% sure. Okay, so let's see. Wow, I would be surprised if everything works right away. Surprise or not, this is showing me that everything works perfectly well. All right, so this was very good. We're going to make a first commit here. So socket interfaces implement. Okay, so then it comes the Web RTC stuff. Ah, wait a minute. It doesn't end up here. This is the problem solved at the network node, not on the client side. On the client side, we will have a similar problem because at the client side we have a WebSocket network client. Okay, so this work is finished. It's for sure working well. So on the network node side, everything is perfectly well. Not tested this, but everything else is working fine. What about the WebSocket network client? The WebSocket network client is also big. Mm. Okay, so this is going to be probably a little bit longer. Um, I don't think I can finish this now because this has many options that I need to analyze. So I'm going to just take a look at this. It has a lot of information here. Is connected. Mm. Okay, so we're going to leave it here. Uh, on the node side, to recap, we implemented socket interfaces. That is going to be the common logic for all socket interfaces like WebSocket and Web RTC. Okay, so the WebSocket interface was stripped out of all the logic that might be common, and it only has socket server and a port, blah blah blah. The WebRTC will have a similar stuff here, but with its own mechanism. All right. Um, we will need to do the same job at the client side, but for that we are going to use a full episode for that. So um, this is everything we're going to do now. Thank you for watching and see you next time.